Hello and welcome back to Jules Math Tools. In our session today, we are converting an improper fraction into degrees by using multiplication. And if you want to see how this is done, let's get started. So in our session today, I will be demonstrating to you two ways that you can convert your improper fraction into degrees by using multiplication. Now in the first step, I'm going to go through the process where you can simplify the fraction first and then perform your multiplication afterwards. And in the second step, I'm just going to perform just the multiplication and then the division because we all know when working with fractions, there are some persons who are able to simplify fractions, and there are others who are still struggling with the concept of simplifying fractions. So I'm going to show you two ways that you can multiply a fraction and still end up with the exact same answer, regardless of which area you are most strong in. Now, when multiplying your fractions by a whole number, one thing that you can always do if you're not comfortable with multiplying with a whole number is to remember that you can always add 1 in your denominator. Now, after you've done that, you remember that when simplifying fractions, we always simplify between a numerator and a denominator, and that can be within the same fraction or even across fractions. So I can simplify 14 and 4, or I can simplify 4 and 360 degrees. But I cannot simplify 14 and 360 degrees because both of those numbers are in the numerator. Or I cannot simplify 1 and 4 because both of those numbers are in the denominator. So whenever you simplify a fraction, remember that it has to be between a numerator and a denominator. Okay, so I'm going to simplify my 4 and my 360 degrees. Because I recognize that 36 is in the 4 time table, and I know that when I multiply 4 times 9, that gives me 36. Then that means that when I multiply 4 times 90, that is going to give me 360 degrees. So I'm going to divide 4 into 4, which is going to give me 1. And I'm going to divide 360 by 4, which will equal to 90. Now, if you are comfortable with working or simplifying fraction, remember that you do not have to perform this step. You can just simply continue simplifying wherever you can, but I'm going to just rewrite everything, clean up the information a little bit more so that it's easier to follow. Now, since we only have 14 and 90 left, remember that 14 and 90 over 1 simply means that 14 is being multiplied to 90. So now we're going to just perform our multiplication, and then the answer that we get will leave us with our answer in degrees. So we know that 0 times 4 is going to equal to 0. 0 times 1 is equal to 0. I'm going to add in my 0 first and then begin multiplying by my 9. So 9 times 4 will equal to 36. I'll put my 6, carry the 3. 9 times 1 is equal to 9, plus 3 will equal to 12. And when we sum all of these numbers together, we're going to get 1,260 degrees. Now, in getting this answer, I don't want you to feel alarmed and think that your answer is incorrect. Remember that we started off with an improper fraction, which means that our numerator was larger than our denominator. So naturally, when you get a degrees for this type of fraction, the degrees should be larger than 360 degrees because remember that the numerator was larger than the denominator. Okay, so now let's work out the same question again. Remember that we are simply just going to perform the multiplication in this step. So for my persons who are not strong with simplifying fraction, you don't have to be alarmed and feel that if I can't simplify the fraction, I'm not going to get the answer. Remember that you can go the old-fashioned basic way and still get the exact same answer. So remember that when multiplying fraction, we multiply our numbers across. So numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator. So let's begin with multiplying our 14 times 360 degrees. Now what I'm going to do is, since my 360 degrees has more digits than my 14, I'm going to multiply by my 14. Remember that with multiplication, it don't matter which number you decide to multiply with first, you should still get the same answer regardless of the approach. So 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 6 is 24. I put my 4 and carry the 2. 4 times 3 is 12. Plus 2 will give us 14. We're going to add in our 0 and then begin multiplying by my 1. So 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 3 is 3. And now we're going to sum our digits. So 0 plus 0 is 0. 4 plus 0 is 4. 6 plus 4 will give us 10. Put the 0, carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Plus 3 will give us 5. So we have 5,040 degrees in our numerator. And when we multiply 4 times 1, we will get 4. And now for this last step, we're just going to go through the division. And remember, with your division, just go digit by digit. Take your time. You don't have to rush. And you will still end up with your answer. So 4 divides into 5 once. 4 times 1 is equal to 4. 5 minus 4 will give us 1. We'll bring down that 0. Change our 1 into 10. 4 goes into 10 twice. 2 times 4 will give us 8. When 10 subtracts 8, we'll get 2. We're going to bring down our 4, changing our 2 into 24. 4 goes into 24 6 times. 6 times 4 is 24. 24 minus 24 is equal to 0. We're not done yet. Remember that 0 is a part of this number, so we have to still divide into our 0. So 4 divides into 0 0 times. 4 times 0 is 0, and 0 minus 0 is 0. 14 quarts, when converted into degrees, is 1,260 degrees. And so you just went through 2 ways that you can multiply your 14 quarts to get a degree. So if you're good with simplifying your fraction, by all means, simplify the fraction. But if simplifying is not your strongest forte, remember that you can still multiply the numbers out, perform your division, and still arrive at the same answer. So if you're looking for more videos on how to convert your fractions into either decimals, degrees, or into percentages, remember to stay tuned. We still have more videos to come right here on Jules Math Tools, where we make math easy.